Jayden Daniels is ridiculous. When you look at the numbers that this kid has put up with the Washington Commanders in the last 4 games, this is completely ridiculous. The best completion percentage in NFL history through a player's first 4 career games in the NFL. 82.1%. And you can't say that he's dinking and dunking his way down the field. No, he is taking massive shots down the field to Terry McLaurin, Luke McCaffrey, and Zacchaeus as well. More in the wide receiving core in the next couple of seconds. 3-1 through 4 games. That's the best record in the NFC East so far. 5 touchdowns to 1 interception. And his 1 interception did come against the Arizona Cardinals. This kid is special. He is doing the same thing that CJ did last year with the Houston Texans. This was a Washington Commanders team last season. They had Eric Bieniemy, Ron Rivera. They had Jack Del Rio on the defensive side of the ball calling plays. Completely different coaching staff. They had Sam Howell as well. Most sacked quarterback in the league. Most interceptions, most turnovers in general in the NFL. They shipped all those parts out. You bring in brand new parts. And it seems like the ownership has fully kicked in now. Because you look at Jayden Daniels with Cliff Kingsbury and Dan Quinn, they look better. Their defense still gives me a lot of concern, but based off of what they did today against the Arizona Cardinals and what they were doing last week against the Bengals, they're improving week to week. I am still worried about the defensive players, but when I look at Jayden Daniels, this kid is special. Right now, as it stands, in the first month, we have a long ways to go through the rest of this season. He is already one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now in this current moment. This kid is phenomenal. He isn't taking the dumb sacks that most rookies would take. He's not rushing himself into sacks as well. This is a player that was a transfer from Arizona State. Then he goes over to LSU. Veteran. Has a similar career path just like Joe Burrow. Wins the Heisman Trophy. Goes out there, has a phenomenal college career. Comes over to the NFL and is completely dominating. And he did not get put into the best situation. You guys listen to what I just said. He doesn't have the elite talent all over the field besides Terry McLaurin. I like Brian Robinson Jr. a lot. He's a very good running back. Austin Eckler, when he is fully healthy, he's a special running back to have in that backfield because he can catch the football. He can run in between the tackles. He's just not a true every down back. But even with Austin Eckler going because he got hurt against the Bengals, you bring in Jeremy McNichols. He's looked very good. It's just what he was able to do today against the Arizona Cardinals that just has me shaking my head and saying, I don't even know what the Cardinals can do to slow this kid down. They've sent blitzes. He gets the football out quicker. They've done everything possible to try to put pressure up the middle of the field towards the center and towards the guards. He finds a way to get out because of how fast he is with that speed. And he's not taking the dumb hits that RG3 was when he was with the then Washington Redskins. He's able to slide and get out of bounds. And this is a player to say he prefers diving. Look at what he's done the last 2 weeks. He's diving. He's not diving anymore. He's sliding down. This kid is special. Right now, as it stands, he has looked the best in the NFC East. Jalen Hurts has a problem turning over the football. Dak Prescott right now in high pressure moments has turned the football over. They can't get their run game going. And the New York Giants with Daniel Jones, they're struggling right now to push the ball down the field, and he's dealing with a lot of accuracy problems. I'm not saying that in the next 3 to 4 months that this team will win the NFC East and they're going to go out there and be a dangerous threat in the playoffs. They still have a long ways to go. But when you look at Jayden Daniels, if he can continue to develop like this, the Commanders will only be better from a team standpoint because now he's elevating the pieces around him. We all know that Terry McLaurin is one of the most slept on wide receivers in the NFL. 1,000 receiving yards every single season in his career except for his rookie season. But who was going to be the number 2 guy? Last year, you had Curtis Samuel. He couldn't stay healthy. He couldn't separate either. He's now with the Buffalo Bills. You also had Jahan Dotson, who was a bust. Those guys couldn't separate. But now you have guys like Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus is not a true number 2 or true number 3 in the NFL. In today's game, he led them in receiving yards for 85 receiving yards. Noah Brown has become a very good piece to have around as well. Zach Ertz, who is on the back end of his career, he has been a very solid tight end because of Jayden Daniels, the way that he's throwing guys open. The dimes that he was throwing against the Cincinnati Bengals, the dimes that he was throwing against the New York Giants. Their only loss came in week 1 so far against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he did not play bad in that game either. He's not a quarterback that's looking to just run when he leaves the pocket. He's looking to create a distraction and throw the football down the field. The offense still needs a lot of work in terms of offensive line protection and getting more juice out of that backfield. But when you look at it from this standpoint, right now, they're good. They're golden offensively, even with all the problems that they have. Majority of his success is coming outside the pocket or him creating plays because they're still having problems with the offensive line. And by the way, the offensive line is still better right now than what it was all of last season. And far as his defense, when Cleveland Farrell is fully healthy, when he can step back on the field, he already has 2 sacks on the season. He's going to be even better because he gets to play with Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen. Johnny Newton right now, he has struggled to get on the field. He's dealing with an injury. They don't need him because now you have other veterans as well. You have guys like Bobby Wagner, who's a veteran linebacker. Jeremy Chin is a very good safety to have around. Frankie Louvu is playing with his hair on fire right now. You have Dorrance Armstrong, who finally popped off the side of the field in the Arizona Cardinals game. We know that he loves the system of Dan Quinn. He was thriving underneath him when he was with the Dallas Cowboys. And the same with other guys on the roster as well. Emmanuel Forbes still has to be better long term. But you have Dante Fowler, another person that thrives in the system underneath Dan Quinn. He's going to fix this defense. And I think the defense is getting better from week to week. But while the defense is going on with their own things here, you have Jayden Daniels, who right now looks like Rookie of the Year. And you have Cliff Kingsbury, who is coaching for redemption. This is a different Cliff Kingsbury. When he was with the Arizona Cardinals, he was overwhelmed. He had to take care of team meetings, defensive meetings, everything because he was the head coach. This is a spot for him. This is a perfect spot. Let him be an offensive play caller. He's gelling with Jayden Daniels. He's gelling with Terry McLaurin. They struggled to get Terry McLaurin the football before they went against the Bengals. And Jayden Daniels said, we're going to work on that. And the same with Cliff Kingsbury. But Terry McLaurin said, do not force me the football. They didn't force it to him. They stayed over 2 hours after practice right before they faced the Bengals. And look at what happened. And that's a report that came out from Cliff Kingsbury, that those guys are trying to get down the timing together and trying to get their report together with more reps. This was the perfect situation for the Commanders. And I've been a huge Jayden Daniels fan even going back to LSU, but I didn't see him being this good. 82% completion percentage in 4 games. That's crazy for any quarterback in the NFL, let alone a rookie. And I can see all the doubters now. They don't have much film on him. It's going to be tough. They can get more film on him. He's still a rookie. He's going to get more film as well. This kid he's transforming this franchise, and I feel good for Commander fans because of all the hell they have been put through for decades underneath Dan Snyder. Shout out to Josh Harris and those guys behind the scenes. They have a real one in Jayden Daniels to just take care of this kid. I like the pieces that they have, but when you look at this division right now, with the Eagles dealing with their injuries and the Dallas Cowboys, they can't stop the run. They don't have a true number 2 wide receiver. And the Giants, you just went out there and you defeated the New York Giants. And they played a perfect game, and the Commanders still beat them. This was the best case situation for the Washington Commanders to end month number 1 in the NFL. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you guys feel about Jayden Daniels long term with the Washington Commanders? And it's also crazy to think about as well. This kid threw an interception in today's game against the Arizona Cardinals, but they still put up 42 points. He outgunned a veteran in Kyler Murray. He was 26 of 30 on the day, 233 passing yards. Brian Robinson Jr. had 101 rushing yards on the day, 1 rushing touchdown. Jeremy McNichols, 68 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Jayden Daniels, 47 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown. They did that without Austin Eckler. And also this as well for context. I understand that it's a week-to-week league and it depends on matchups. The Cardinals gave the Detroit Lions hell last week. They're playing with confidence. That's what's making this so scary now. When they got that win over the Bengals, you can see everyone on the sideline, things were different. Even the defense started to play up as well. They went 2 straight weeks without punting the football. They punted the football today, but they didn't punt much. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys to stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. God bless. Peace.